Well, at Emrill, we're constantly looking for innovation. We're constantly looking at ways in which we can be more efficient and we can ultimately try and make our customers happier. So yeah, we look at how we can be more sustainable, how we can make lives easier for our staff. As you can imagine, the mall's very large. So it's quite an exhausting task if our guys were going to do that task manually. The next step is obviously bringing in equipment. Usually that's a ride-on or a walk-behind machine. So basically the next step in the evolution was to take that to a robotic cleaner, which is what we've done. Yeah, we've been looking since probably around the last 6 or 7 years. We've been looking into robotic cleaners, and this is the one that we found, which is ultimately more reliable because the sensors have advanced from what they were 6 years ago. And yeah, this is what we've picked. Okay, well, Sophie uses 80 times less water than a conventional walk-behind cleaner. She also operates for 10 hours, just on a 2-hour charge. And also from the human perspective, as I've said earlier, it's an exhausting task if that's done manually or even on a walk behind. So from a human perspective, it's more sustainable as our cleaners have more energy to do other tasks. Well, as I've said, we've obviously brought in a robot, which is benefiting it. At Emrill, we've brought in a number of initiatives recently. So if you think about a horizontal community, we've brought in an efficiency application whereby a technician or a housekeeper gets an alert to a PDA, all of their planned, all of their reactive tasks, and they can react there and then. But also they can take a photograph of what they've done. So this removes any confusion that there is between management or clients of what's been done or what's not been done. So the cleaner is obviously more empowered, or the technician is more empowered, because they can demonstrate that actually, yes, it was done and to a good standard, because I have the photograph to prove it. We've brought in a number of things. So another thing is a smart washroom. Which we've done a trial recently in a community, which was a success, so much so that another client came to look at it, and they're now rolling it out as well from us. And this can obviously be used at a mall. There's a number of ways in which this can help, counting the number of users, because it's got a sensor which counts how many people use the facility. So you can look at what times are busy, what times are not busy, to plan your resources around that. Also, we have leak detection systems connected to it as well. So if there is any water, maybe a leak or a spillage, then an alert goes to a technician or a housekeeper. Again, it allows us to then go and fix the issue there and then. We have sensors on our paper dispensers. So if something's running out, we get an alert so it can be refilled. Also bins, we have sensors in the bins, so if the bins are getting full, again, someone can go and change the bin. The nice part also is the fact that there's a panel, so the guests or the users can then sort of rate their experience, and they can say how satisfied they were by simply clicking. So that way we can get an understanding of how satisfied the customer is as well. And we've also brought in the technology that I mentioned in horizontal communities. We were the first also in Dubai to bring it into vertical communities. Slightly more complicated because we had to purchase Bluetooth beacons so that we could put on every floor, and with a integrated facilities management service. So that means not only housekeeping, but technicians, lifeguards, security. They can all use the same software, so it makes the investment better and makes us more efficient. So yeah, there's a lot of ways in which it is helping already, and that's obviously going to continue. As I say, there was lots of positives when we did the feasibility study, when we purchased Sophie. One of the things that could potentially be a limitation, we could use her during the day when the mall is busy and there's people around. However, we've chosen not to, and she meets and greets, but the sensors are good enough so that you can use it in the day, and we use her in the night. But it's more the reason that we've chosen not to use it in the daytime is because we also think not only about efficiencies, but also end user or customer experience. So, some shoppers or building users might actually like to see a robot, others may not. So when they're walking, they don't want to walk around the robot. So we've got to make sure that we keep everyone happy, end users, customers, our clients, employees, everyone if possible. So that's what we decided to do. From a planned perspective, in terms of the planned jobs, the way in which it works, we geo-fence the facility, so it's mapped out and Sophie knows what she needs to do and where she needs to go. That's okay for planned when the facility is closed to the public. For reactive tasks, it's a bit more challenging, obviously, and that human factor is needed. So our team leaders would walk the areas and make sure if there's no problems. If there is, we can raise calls through our PDAs and close the reactive tasks that way. So it has to be more of a complement to humans rather than replacing. Obviously, the change has been embraced. It certainly has within Emrill. And I know other people will follow suit. So I think the first hurdle is always getting over that change. So now that's been done, also the technology is, it's going down in cost. So each year it's getting cheaper and more available for people to use, and it's getting more reliable, which is the main thing. So if that keeps happening, like any evolution, it'll continue, and it'll be a step-by-step increase in using the technology further.